Hello again, and welcome to another episode of the Fun Fans Podcast. I'm your host, James Dillard. With me, as always, my co-host, Bailey Jackson. How you doing, B?
I'm good, James. Hope everybody is.
Hopefully doing well. We got a special guest. As you can see, Dean the Hat Cox is with us. We're going to highlight some week's results of Clemson athletics. Most importantly, I think this week is going to be our highlight of the cheerleading, right, Bailey?
That's right, baby.
Well, hopefully we get an update from Bailey on some Buckies. And we'll probably talk about our thoughts on the Masters. But first, we need to point out that we are a proud part of the Fanboys Fangirls Sports Podcasting Network. If you're a true sports fan, the Fanboys Fangirls is perfect for you. Find various nationwide podcasts and other sports media at thefanboys.com and all over all types of social media. The Fun Fans Podcast is the official podcast for Clemson fans. Scroll to the bottom of thefanboys.com and find out how you can help us help build homes for troops. Thefanboys.com at the bottom. Help us build homes for troops. We really love that. What else do we love, Bailey?
We love Rubens. And Rubens has two locations in the upstate, 1083 Batesville Road in Greer and 11028 Anderson Road in Piedmont. Food, sports, spirits, and catering, the best wings around. Find them at rubensc.com. It's just a great place to eat for all sports fans, including the Tigers.
That's right. Hey, I got takeout there from the other night. If you don't go to Rubens, you can get takeout, and we'll talk about that later. We got to introduce the man, the hat we have with us. I mean, when you have a nickname that's as well known as this guy, if you don't know his name, you definitely know his headgear. If you don't know the headgear, you ain't a Clemson fan. So we want to welcome to the show Dean the Hat Cox. How you doing this evening, Hat?
Hey, great. But let me tell you before we go any further.
Okay.
I went to Rubens the other night.
Of course you did.
I seen it on your show, and it was awesome.
See? There you go. I'm going to have to make sure
make sure they know that.
Hear that. Yeah. the Fun Fans sent you. And it is really good. I mean, we're not joking about that. So Hat, we appreciate you being on the show. We're excited to have Clemson's we're going to say we thought we were Clemson's number one fan, but we'll definitely take the back seat because I'm watching Clemson softball the other night, and there he is sitting right there behind the batter every time, the camera's on there, and he's everywhere. I remember when the Reedy River rivalry, and I don't know, you had some dugout looking seat or whatever, but just start off by telling us, how did you get to be a Clemson fan?
Well, a lot of people don't know this. I'm from the lower part of the state. That's why I kind of talk funny some. And when I moved up here for my senior year of high school, the only thing I knew, I didn't care nothing about football. The only thing I knew was basketball. And there was a guy named Frank McGuire. Frank McGuire was the basketball coach of South Carolina. That was back during the time of John Roach and all the old guys. Well, I guess I had to consider myself a Gamecock. I didn't never have a shirt or nothing. When I moved up here, and my dad went to seminary to be a pastor, and I was doing my senior year of high school at Greenville High, I met my wife, and she said, or my wife to be, and she said, "You want to go to a football game Saturday?" I said, "Oh, yeah, I guess." Well, I figured it'd be like going to a movie or something.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I went over there. I was like it. I liked it. I liked it a lot. And the next year, they won the 81 championship. And I didn't go. But I was like, man, we got to do this IPTAY thing. We started out, man, I think it was 10. That's what I gave, 10 a year. That was IPTAY. I give 10 a year. And I think that's about what I gave them. But man, it was I was hooked, and after I got a real job when I got out of school, and I started making enough to give like $100 a year, I started getting my tickets. And I started on the fourth row from the top of section I. And I loved it because you could see the lake and you could see but as my legs got worse, I needed to upgrade. So I moved down, and I had 14 tickets, 8 rows from the field right beside DJ Shea.
Oh, wow.
And my kids was what I wanted. My grandkids and my kids, we all went to every game, not on the road, but every game at home. That was our thing, 7 games. And I was one of them, man. I still tell them. People say, I ain't going this game. We play Furman. Guess what? We don't get but 7 games.
Right.
I don't care if the other team don't show up. I'm going. Because we got a tailgate.
Florida State did that one year, didn't they?
Yeah, you're not kidding, son. It was so awesome. So that's how I got hooked, and I got more involved with IPTAY and all, and got more tickets. And now my kids are grown. My daughter, I mean, she's got her hands in 2 coffee shops, which she pulled me out of semi-retirement into the coffee shop full time.
There you go.
So I don't have time. So I had 14 tickets, and now I have 2. So, I just had them, and I didn't never use them. So that was hard to do. But my kid, man, it's crazy. The older you get, things change, and sometimes you got different priorities. Right now, coffee shop is a priority.
Yeah, that's a cool story because, like you say, when folks go over there, we talk to plenty of athletes. Why did you choose Clemson? And as soon as they step foot on campus. And it's a similar story for a lot of the fans that whether they were students or not, the something in those hills is for sure. You get in that stadium and that view of campus, at least, and the view's great now, but you really got to be way up there now sometimes to see the lake and all. But I remember those views when the stadium was a little bit smaller and you could see everything a little bit better without being so high. So I definitely get it. So how about the story? So that's the story of becoming a fan. How did it graduate to the level of the hat? What's the story of the origination of the hat?
Okay, the hat started 13 years ago.
Okay.
There was a guy if you're from Greenville, anybody that's from Greenville had heard of Grady Miller Honda on Wade Hampton Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
They sold 4-wheelers and golf carts and all kinds of stuff. But Grady Miller, his dad had a Pontiac place in Anderson, and they were huge IPTAY members. Well, he got sick, got dementia, I think, maybe, or something like that. And I got a word from one of my auction buddies at that time. Listen to this. You ever seen Storage Wars on TV?
Storage Wars. Yeah, oh yeah.
Raise the door. Yeah. 10 years. 10 years I was that guy. So, man, when I heard they had an auction that had Clemson, this room that I'm sitting in here, I was like, man, I need some more stuff for this room. So I called Dabo. Now, I ain't missed it. You got to remember, I ain't missed a game since Dabo became head coach.
Mm-hmm.
And I called him. I said, man, I'm supposed to go to the auction. They got this Frank Howard autographed 1945 IPTAY card.
Wow.
But now, if you're in IPTAY and you got a card, you see it's a little plastic, looks like a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
This thing, hey, hold on a second. I know this probably ain't professional, but this
it probably won't be the first thing Bailey's been on here.
I was in Town Magazine the other day, and they did a video with this, but I'm like, I can't do a video. So this here is that IPTAY card.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's throwback. And Frank Howard autographed every one. This was number 443. Now we've got over 20,000 IPTAY members. Okay, so we go to this auction. Dabo said, just go. We're going to play Wake Forest. We're going to kill them. Something like me, it might have been homecoming. So I go to the auction, man. I wish I brought that jacket down here. I got a polyester IPTAY jacket.
Oh, wow.
That thing is so awesome, but I'll never hardly wear it. So I buy a whole bunch of crap. I go to get this one IPTAY card, and I buy everything Clemson. And there's a box, and it's got 81 championship magazines. And if you ever come in this room, you'll see there's just old throwback programs and all everywhere. So I get home, I pull it out, I show my wife. I said, look, I got this coat, and I got this card, man. I had a good day. She said, we won too. I said, okay. So like 6 months later, must have been a year. Because I put it in the box under that table over there. I seen the hat, but I didn't give it the respect that it needed.
That's right. Okay.
And so one day I'm down here, my wife said, "You got to clean this junk hole out. You got too much stuff," and it did. When you're a storage warrior, yeah, it don't take long to get full. So I pulled that thing out, and I told her, I said, "I'm gonna wear this to the game Saturday." She said, "You are not. That thing looks stupid." I told her, I said, "Well, I'm gonna wear it anyway. I don't care. I see people that wear clothes there that look stupid, but
There
they
you go.
still wear them." Yeah. So I wore it, and this is no lie. I bet I had 20 people said, "Hey, I'll buy that hat from you. Where'd you get that hat? I'll buy it." And I said, "No, I don't want to sell it." I mean, it didn't have no pins or nothing on it then, but it was like brand new because Grady Miller left it in the top of his closet. He wore it to the 81 championship, and I've got the coolest. There's a picture in here somewhere of him with a curly afro wearing this hat, and it don't look nothing like it did then. It was a real cowboy hat about like this.
Oh.
Now it's more like an Indiana Jones hat.
There, right. Perfect.
Yeah, so that's how it got started because of that. So I wore it. The next weekend, we went to Syracuse for the first game since Syracuse joined the ACC.
Mhm.
And I wore it, and I was on the Today Show with Al Roker. And I was like, I mean, all these Alabama people, they're like, "Oh, look at that Clemson hat guy." So I'm like, this thing here might be gonna be something. So we went to the hotel, and Dabo just cracked up. He's like, "Hat or Dean, I swear you'll do anything." So Taj Boyd wore the hat. He was the first one to go into the Hat Hall of Fame.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So that's how the hat got started. But then after I didn't have it the next week, everybody's like, "Where's the hat?
Where's the hat? Yeah.
Where's the hat?" So that's how it got the name The Hat.
Perfect.
So I was
Yeah,
like,
that's awesome. Hey, speaking of the Hat Hall of Fame, tell us about this one.
"Ooh-wee, man,
She's
that
something
girl
else,
there."
isn't she?
Yeah, I think that is the best female athlete ever at Clemson. Now, I ain't seen them all, but what she did last night to them Gamecocks, man, it broke their heart, but it made mine smile.
That's right. Yeah, she's doing a heck of a job.
Val
So
Cagle is something. But that hat, that was at the ACC championship last year.
Okay.
For softball. And her mom, they were out there after the game. And it seemed like we had won and we were fixing to play Duke the next game for the championship. And I told her, I said, "Hey, Val, you just got named Player of the Year. And here, I want you to wear the hat, go in the Hat Hall of Fame." She's like, "Oh, no, I can't, Mr. Day." And her mom said, "Girl, you wear that hat. That's the hat." So,
Good for mom.
So she did. But I mean, it's crazy, man, the people now that, I mean, Herb Streets wore it. What's the old guy that puts I think he thought it was
Corso.
Corso wore it. I think he thought it was kind of like the mascot head or something. Yes,
yeah, he's big on mascot head. Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what's a typical football Saturday like for the Hat? Or is if there is a typical Saturday?
Yeah, there is too, because we leave on Thursday or Friday morning with the motorhome, and we pull the golf cart. And when we get there, there's no traffic.
All right.
That night, Friday night, Pixie and Bill's. The corner of the bar right there, that's got a hat. They got a little name tag says The Hat. So if you're ever looking for the Hat on game weekend at home, Friday night at 5:30, you got to go to Pixie and Bill.
Okay.
I can do that.
Hey, let's get done.
Yeah, amazing. Pixie and Bill's awesome by chance. They're not a sponsor of mine, but still. But no, it's really crazy. And then people too, people ask me, they say, how did you and Dabo? Yeah, I mean, I've never even met Dabo. I want to meet. I told myself, I can't tell you, because when me and Dabo got to be friends, he was a wide receiver coach, and we tailgated on the Avenue of Champions right there behind Little John. That was back when there was big trees there, and he would walk Kathleen and Will and Drew to the stadium, and then he would go back and meet the team.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he would stop by every time. We'd say, "Hey, coach," and he was just a wide receiver coach, and every time he would stop, and there was no Clay, and now Clay's on the football team. So that's crazy. So
That's cool. So is there a most memorable moment as the hat? I'm sure there's a whole list, but is there any one or two maybe that stand out?
I think probably, I mean, because I'm gonna tell you, man, I get to do some really cool stuff, and it's because of this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot more people now, when I take this hat off and I go, they say, "Hey, aren't you the fishing guy?"
The fishing guy.
And I'm like, "You mean the hat?" "No, the fishing guy. Don't you stripe the fish?" I mean, so now I'm the coffee man. I make ice cream for all the kids at the coffee shop, our homemade ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm the ice cream man. I'm the fishing guide. I'm the hat. I'm a man of many names. But hey, but let me tell you, and this thing goes back to the most memorable thing back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Friday night is all in ball. We were at the first one, and I think this is the 12th one now. So it was even before the hat. And there's always silent auctions. Well, me and Cindy were there, and I said, "I'm gonna bid on Dabo," and this is Dabo's first year.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "I'm gonna bid on lunch in Dabo's office with him and his wife, Kathleen." And she said, "We can't afford that." No, listen to this. This is gonna make you really laugh. We got it. And she called like 5 times. She said, "Dean, what do y'all want? You want barbecue? You want fried chicken? You just tell us." Man, she's like mama.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, I said, "It really don't matter, Kathleen." So we go over there, and here's Dabo, and he comes out, and we're like, wow. And so we sit down in his office, and this catered, and then they take us to the west. At this time, they're in the west end zone.
Mm-hmm.
And Don Munson comes in, and he says, "Hey, coach, you want me to take them for a tour?" He said, "Don, they're my guest. They've got the whole afternoon."
Nice.
I was like, dang. Well, at this time, man, he's hanging by a thread. He's got to do something to keep this job.
Right.
We go in that office. Now, I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but I'm going to tell you something I ain't never told nobody else.
Okay.
But Dabo said, "Dean, you ain't going to believe this." I said, "What?" He said, "They trying to give me $800,000 to coach this team, to be the head coach. $800,000. He said, "There ain't no way nobody deserves that kind of money. So I want them to split it so I can give all my half of it to my other coaches."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and now I look back 13 or 14 years later, and I'm like, that's what you call passing it on and getting the blessings.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
So
exactly right.
So that whole day, man, just to spend, I mean, that was in the beginning. And there's been a time or two that all in ball has been not in the budget
Mm-hmm.
for that year. And that was where Dean and Cindy at paid yet? No, well, I think we're out. But no, they were here when we started. We're not leaving them behind.
Nice.
Man, this is a good guy here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would say eating lunch in Dabo's office with him and Kathleen, and just having the whole day, went to the hill. I mean, I got pictures all in here of us at the Rock. It was a really great time. That was like 14 years ago.
Wow. That's really cool. Bailey, I think I want to be the hat when I grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what? Them national championships are pretty sweet too. I mean, they're just like right below that little down.
That's awesome. So speaking of helping people, you tell me you're involved with an organization called Sunday Dinner with a Twist. You want to tell the listeners about that?
Yeah, let me tell you this. I mean, if y'all are local and you listen to WCCP, you hear Red Martin. Red Martin is my man. And he calls in Mickey. He tells me, he said, "Man, Red was homeless himself for 15 years.
Hmm.
So, man, he's got a heart, loving these folks because he knows where they've been and where they're going and where they're at. And he wants to see them like him. So I told my wife, I said, look, this guy, he does a good job out here. I want the coffee shop to do a feel good Sunday help the community.
Mhm.
And she said, okay, we did. So we said, can we make soup and grilled cheese and take it and help feed? And Red said, man, we would love that. Well, that day, that was on Christmas Day, and we did our feel good, and we ain't stopped yet.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, man, that played on our heart, and you know, now we just see people that's less fortunate, and when we give them that plate of food, this past Sunday, me and my family did the Easter meal. We all 10 of us got together, made 150 plates, went with Red and them, passed them out. Those folks, when you give them a plate and they just started eating it because they hadn't had food in like 2 or 3 days.
Mm.
Man, you know what? I love Clemson football, but Sunday Dinner with a Twist has moved there with Clemson sports for the hat.
Yeah, it's a whole different ball game.
You're not kidding, man. And we're all one snap away.
Right.
I mean, you might think it's great today, yeah, but that don't mean it's going to be tomorrow.
No,
So,
that's right.
so you know, it ain't for everybody, but it's for me. And when them
That's
guys
awesome.
say, thank you for bringing me this and gives you a hug. And we got a girl today that went into rehab about a month ago. And I wish I had that before and after picture Red sent to us today. You can follow it on their website or Facebook, Sunday Dinner with a Twist. There is, we call those codes that you can scan with your phone and send a donation.
QR
QR
code.
code.
QR code, thank you. I say
Yeah.
I'm a dummy. I'm on my phone. These guys on these big 25-inch TVs. Yeah, I can hardly see. I need to put my glasses on, but there's a QR code there. If you don't think you need to go out there and see how some people live, just make a donation and let us make the plates and take it to them, because you know what? I can promise you, when that man was raised out of the tomb last Sunday,
Mm.
he would have went with us and passed out those plates
That's right.
as soon as he did that. So I mean, that's just, man, these people think that this hat is nothing but a Clemson go to a game and have fun. No, man, this hat helps people, has helped a lot of people. Can't help everybody,
Right.
but I'll do the best at what I can do.
And the more you give, the more you end up receiving.
You're not kidding, man. You're not kidding, man. I mean, the blessings that we have gotten from, like I said, we did it on Christmas Day. That was on a Sunday this year,
Mhm.
and we hadn't stopped. And now we're on the board, and we have a gala. Our first gala is the 22nd of this month, which I think maybe is next Saturday.
It's a week from
Yeah.
this Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah,
And we
a week
love
from this
galas, don't we,
Saturday.
Bailey?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, a week from this Saturday, and this at Thornblade Country Club,
Oh,
and it's for Sunday Dinner with a Twist, and our guest speaker is going to be LaVon Kirkland.
Nice.
And I mean, you can go to that page and just say, "Hey, we want to come," and guess what?
Come
We'll
on.
get you a ticket. You ain't got to pay a dime. You come on.
Well, that's awesome.
But,
Well, I
but
will
if you
post.
can help, if you can help, you know, it'll bless your heart. I promise you. If you say, "Man, you know, I can't give but 20, but I'm giving 20, by George."
That's right. Every little bit
You're
helps
not
us.
kidding, man. The widows might. That playground we did in Lawrence and all. I mean, it wasn't the big buck somebody stroked the check that could. It wouldn't do for me to win the lottery.
Right.
If I won the lottery, we probably wouldn't have a new football stadium, but we would have less homeless people that's hungry. I promise you that.
Amen. Amen.
that's awesome.
Well, anybody that wants to support this is Sunday Dinner with a Twist, and I will post the link when I post this. So just check really any of our social medias, and you should be able to find that. And speaking of
LeVon,
go
let
ahead.
me tell you something. Dabo, the All-In Ball this Friday night. I mean, that Dabo and them in 13 years, amazing the foundations and all that they help from that one fundraiser every year. And I'm gonna tell you, if anybody, it ain't cheap, but if anybody had never been to that and will save their money and go one time, it'll change their life too. But Tony Dungy, Joe Gibbs, Herb Street. Seemed like there was one more that I could remember right off. But you know who the guest speaker is Friday night?
Who?
Red Martin.
Oh, nice.
Red Martin is the one that started Sunday Dinner with a Twist. Lived in the woods for 15 years. I mean, I took him to the Notre Dame game. Me and him, and you see my boy Santa Paul's.
Yeah.
We were there, and Red, you know, I tell him I saved his life because Red had such a hard life with all that, to his heart and all. You know, he needed something. But we sat in my front row seats, and when the game was over and we beat Notre Dame, he looked up top of them steps. He said, "Is there any other way out?" And I said, "No." And it put him in the hospital for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
But he's alive today because he'll tell you, if I hadn't went to that basketball game, I'd have probably died in my sleep.
Wow.
But we got to keep him here because he's the one that tells us what these people are thinking.
Right.
So,
yeah. Well, that's awesome.
All right,
that's a really cool story. Bailey, you got anything else for the hat?
No, man, this was awesome.
Yeah, it was a great conversation. I appreciate you being on here. I want to give a shout out to our mutual friend, Jim Mabry, is who hooked us up with Dean. So Jim, we appreciate you getting on here.
Today I was over at Clemson to pick up the hat out of the motorhome where we left it. And PPR, which is Professional Party Rental, Jim's the salesman for it, was setting up the whole all-in ball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't see him. But Jim's a good guy.
Yeah, we call him a party engineer. So he's got that career of, you know, the party career too. At least we say so. But we appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing you in person very soon.
You be there Saturday?
I have another gala, and that I have to go to for my school.
Okay.
And so I'm going to miss this Saturday, unfortunately, but we will be at Wayne Buckingham at the alumni reunion.
Yep.
We were talking about that. We can throw that up there real quick. So anybody,
hey, let me tell you, Buck's got them lined up.
Yeah.
He called me the other day. He said, "Man, Horace Grant's going to be there. Perry Tuttle's going to be there." He said, "Grayson's going to be there. Coach Ford." I'm going to tell you, I couldn't remember all of them, but it's the who's who of Clemson sports is going to be there. And if you are one of those fandom fans that want to go see the legends, you got to go to that. If you don't go to that, you missed out. Hey, look at this. I don't know if I showed you this. Can you see this?
Oh, hang on. Let me make it a little bit bigger. All right. Who is that?
Yeah, that's Perry Tuttle.
Oh, wow. Is he going? I think he's going to be there.
Yeah, Perry Tuttle's going to be there. Perry Tuttle. So if you got a Sports Illustrated with Perry Tuttle, you better bring it and get him to sign it.
Get him to sign it. Well, this event is an opportunity to meet all those Clemson folks and the hat. And
I'll be there.
And the fun fans.
And us.
Me and Bailey. That's right. We'll be there. Anybody.
Hey, y'all playing golf?
I'm not sure, but that's a good point. Is I try to tell people that there are multiple opportunities to get involved here. It's an entire weekend, that first weekend in August. Tailgate on Friday night, a gala on Saturday, the golf tournament on Sunday. So it's a wide variety of things, and I'll post this link as well for folks that are interested in that. But Baylor, we're gonna play golf.
I don't know.
Well, let me tell you, I don't play golf, and it's all Dabo Sweeney's fault. Because one time at one of those all-in balls, my son bought a round of golf with Dabo Sweeney and Chad. What's the offense coordinator? Chad Marsh. Yeah, Chad Marsh. I'm getting old. But we played up at the Cliffs. It was me and Dabo against Brian and Chad. And we won. But I played the whole round with with a 5-wood and a putter.
Wow.
And he looked at me after we ate lunch. He said, Dean, God, stick to whatever else you do because you're the worst golfer I ever played with. And I'm going to be honest with you. I really want to play in some of these tournaments, but I can't because he done hurt my feelings so much.
People don't realize they say stuff that hurts your feelings.
I know, man. Friday night, if he watches this, I'm going to send it to him, send it to his kids.
Right.
I'm going to say, you show this to your dad. If he says, I'm sorry I said that, then I'm playing them Bucks tournament.
Okay, good. There you go. I've had 2 back surgeries, so that's kind of my. I had to get back into some golf. Bailey's a pretty good golfer, so
Really?
Yeah, I'll play.
he does all
I
right.
kind of wish I wish I could play, but man, I'm gonna be honest with you, I really ain't got time. They said golf takes time. Every time I call Mickey Plyler to go to a softball game, he's playing golf. Yeah, so I don't know if I need golf.
Yeah, it can be time consuming for sure. All right, well,
No doubt.
we appreciate it, and we'll let you get back to the coffee shop or whatever your next item is, and we won't see you this Saturday, but we'll definitely see you. Maybe we'll run into you at some point over the summer before Buck's event in August, but if not, we'll definitely keep in touch and see you then for sure.
Hey, well, y'all must have been hurting for guests today, but I appreciate you having me.
Yeah,
we appreciate you.
Yeah, you tell Dabo we said hello. If you think if you want to help us with any guests, that'd be
say,
cool.
Dabo, we got some guys you need to talk to.
Yeah.
I hear. Hey, well, I'm gonna tell you, man, he's a good one, and he shakes his head at me a lot, but when I need him, he's usually there.
That's
but
awesome.
I take him. I wipe that off the podcast because I don't want 100 people say, "Well, you said if he asked you." Yeah.
All right. Hopefully they're smarter than that.
Yeah.
Right.
Disclaimer.
Hey, y'all
alert.
have a good one and go Tigers.
You
Go
too.
Tigers. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. See y'all.
No, really. I want to be the hat when I grow up.
Yeah. Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
He fished today, went to Clemson, he did some coffee, and now he's on with us.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, oh man, yeah, I don't even know where to go. Because
Follow the script.
follow the script. All right, when in doubt, follow the script. So we need a cheer parent update, Bailey. Is there a group me?
Woo, boy. My phone's on. I'm still at work, but my phone's over there on the charger. I would look up how many. I'm going to say that in between Wednesday and Friday night, there were probably close to 1,000 group messages about the cheer, different stuff about cheer in that group me. I said, I can't even keep my phone charged.
That's typical, probably. Well, give us the result.
All right, that picture is of the all-girl Clemson cheerleaders that finished 3rd in the country in the all-girl competitive cheer Division 1A, which is the top dogs. Louisville finished 1st and Oklahoma State 2nd. But there was a big Clemson group there. It was fun. It was loud.
And that's the group your daughter was in.
Mm-hmm.
So that was awesome. We're very proud of them and appreciate the way they go down there and represent. I saw the video.
And the co-ed team was there too, and there's a club team that was down there. So there were a lot of Clemson people. But I did see Cocky.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I took a picture of him just in case they needed to identify his body before we left.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, speaking of updates, baseball and softball is a little bit of a reverse role since the last podcast. Baseball goes in there and takes a series from FSU. That was good.
Then they beat Georgia.
They beat Georgia. Was it that just last night?
Yep.
And
look, they're 20-4. I'm 20-14, but 4-8 in the conference. So if it ended today, they would not qualify for the ACC tournament. All right. So
is this a sign of maybe some kind of turning the corner growth? It's a rebuilding year, but you can hit a growth spurt type deal in the mid-season.
James.
No,
just like basketball.
Never. Okay.
They're kids, man. We're dealing with kids here.
Okay, just asking.
It's a roller coaster. Sometimes it's like Scooby-Doo at Carowinds, and other times it's like Thunder Road.
Thunder Road.
All right.
showing
So
our
in
age.
and the softball team got swept by Florida State, but you know what? Florida
Same
State's a
thing.
good team too, and there were 2 one-run games in that.
Really good. I mean, that was 2 really, really good softball teams playing
Yeah,
with the hat
so it's
sitting right there on the
okay.
front row.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're still 38-4.
And that, like Dean was saying, the hero moment with Cagle last night against the Gamecocks. That's awesome.
Yeah, because clearly they're struggling a little bit because Carolina, they were up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But you know who never loses?
Jay Do.
MC, entertainer, entrepreneur, pep rallies, corporate events, game shows, fundraisers, gala. Just put that man on the mic and let him liven up the party. I've seen him work, and your organization will not be disappointed anytime you add JDo to your function. You can find him at itsjdo.com or on all forms of social media at itsjdo. So lots of galas. I mean, I know the hat probably don't realize how we are with our galas, but for him he sent me a text and says, there's a gala. I'm like, oh, we love some galas, so we'll talk about galas. So
Right.
I got that one lined up. And it's just kind of weird. We never heard of galas before we started reading JDo's little spot there, but
Right.
now we love galas. And speaking of, I don't know if this is a gala or an anti-gala, but you said you were going to wear the Buc-ee's. I'm calling you out a little bit, B.
Well, are we to Buc-ee's yet or not? Are we at Buc-ee's?
Yeah. I'm following the script.
All right. So we were not able to stop at Buc-ee's on the way back.
Oh, man.
All right. Let me just explain for a second.
Let's hear it.
It is 5:30 on Friday afternoon.
All right.
Okay. The awards are over. The cheerleaders are down on the beach taking that picture that you just put up there and others. I am
sure
so
that went on
ready
for a
to
while.
get out of Daytona that I am now in the parking garage getting the car and pulling over to the Daytona Grand drive-through circle, which is right there where my wife and my son are going to meet me, because as soon as they got in the car, we start heading back home.
Right.
All right. Well, why did we try to head back home? Because I was supposed to play in it's called the Masters Breakfast Golf Tournament at the country club I'm a member at. And it's awesome. It's the best tournament of the year. So we got home at 1:30 in the morning. So I could be at the golf course at 7:30. And of course it rained 2.5 inches Saturday. So they called it off at 9:00. Got a good breakfast out of it. But anyway, I was glad to be home. I was standing in the Atlantic Ocean Friday morning. It was 86 degrees. And when we got back, it was 43 degrees and raining sideways.
Welcome back.
We did not stop at Buc-ee's. Then I was going to try to order something online, and Buc-ee's does not do that.
Hey, it's live or no Buc-ee's. It's no Buc-ee's. You got to be
I might
there.
run down to Florence. You never know. It's only 2.5 hours to pick up something.
Yeah, you go ahead. So I'll save, once again, maybe we'll talk about Buc-ee's again. I'll save my impression of Buc-ee's before us. All right. So speaking of golf, there was another big sporting event since our last podcast called the Masters. And according to what I heard, I went and found a picture based on what I heard. They said a Spaniard won.
That's not him.
That's not
That's
him.
Russell Crowe in Gladiator.
That wasn't that.
John Rahm won the tournament.
Oh, congratulations.
They had some, I mean, it was warm Thursday, Friday. Weather got bad Friday. It was miserable Saturday till they called it off. If the Masters calls off because of weather, it's raining.
It's bad.
A lot. Because they have a sub-air system that sucks the moisture out of the greens.
Well, if a tree falls at the Masters and it doesn't hit anybody, did it really make a sound?
It made a sound. And they're lucky it didn't hit anybody.
They are lucky. There was 3 of them, I think, that fell like that. So that was I'm only making light of it because nobody was injured. So, and all right, I was impressed with the low amateur. Is it amateur?
Well, I don't know how you didn't spell it right on our script. It's right there on the screen.
Amateur.
It's
I'm just
amateur.
I'm shorthanded on the script. Come
this guy, well, you put all the letters in there.
Amateur.
Yes. Anyway, Sam
he did
Bennett,
really well.
He played great. But did you get the picture I sent you?
Is it common for the amateur to finish that well? You're the golf guy.
No.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That was very impressive. He was like 12th or something, 2 under.
Oh, he played great.
I can't remember. So, but is this the same guy?
It looks a lot like Dabo Swinney, and they were killing it on Twitter.
Which,
they were like, wait a minute, Vanilla Ice and Dabo Swinney had a love child, and his name's Sam Bennett.
Well, there's only one of these guys is friends with the hat, and that's the
right.
only one that matters. So anyway, so speaking of what else matters, Diamond Etch Products. These guys have mastered a diamond laser engraving process, and they can put almost any design on items such as license plates, yard signs, tumblers, water bottles, and more for a high quality, forever lasting, custom engraved product. Check out diamondetchproducts.com for questions or orders. You can email Jalen at diamondetchproducts.com. You can get you a Fun Fans tumbler or koozie
You can
right
put
away.
whatever you want to on it.
That's right. And you can, in Diamond Etch Products, you can get whatever you want, or you can get a Fun Fan one. And okay, so I have a confession. Speaking of the Fun Fans tumbler, I'm going to blame it, not blame it on Easter, as in like, I'm going to blame it on me, but I'm blaming it on the busyness of the holiday, because it's like blasphemous to blame it on. I didn't do the drawing. Sorry, but everyone that shared a show will be added to the next drawing. And if you share any of our shows on any of your social media, make sure, I probably know, but if you want to tag me in whatever social media you're sharing that in, just so make sure I'll know that you're sharing it, you will be entered to win a Fun Fans tumbler and koozie. I should have asked, I'm gonna have to text the hat and see whether he have to send him a koozie or a tumbler, which one he might prefer. I'd send him both. We'll give him a Fun Fans tumbler and koozie.
I tell you, we'll give him a tumbler, but he's got to take it to Pixie and Bill's and sit at the corner of the bar with it.
Yes. Yeah, we'll do that. So we can hook him up with some tumblers. So, but you can win yours by getting in a drawing. Just simply share this or any of our other shows. We'll put the links to anything we mentioned today on with our posts and everything. So please feel free to support whatever you feel moved to support. But we definitely ask that you support the Fun Fans podcast. You share us on social media, like us on YouTube, tell your friends about us. I'm going to tell you, Bailey, I think we laughed more during this show than any other show we've done.
Yeah, it was, I mean, there are probably some laughable moments on our show, but he was great. So we're glad he was on and look forward to being with him more. I'm going to Pixie and Bill's next time I'm in Clemson, 5:30 on Friday.
Yeah. And hey, that's definitely a good, it just proves that Rubens, we're not lying about Rubens. That's some good stuff. That's some
and
good
we did
stuff.
not pay him to say that.
We didn't prompt him or anything. So
Nope.
but we are listen, the hat was awesome, but I got one more really special announcement. Speaking of guests, who remembers Chris Whitney?
I do.
Chris Whitney will be on this show this coming Sunday. Former point guard superstar for Clemson, played, don't know how many years in the NBA just yet. But I actually had classes with Chris. I don't know if he'll remember me. It's one of those things, when those guys, we were at Clemson, those guys were, like famous, and, we knew them, but had talked to them or whatever. But I actually had some classes and, multiple conversations and pickup games and stuff with Chris. So we'll see if he remembers. I don't think I've changed that much. Have I changed that much?
You played pickup with Chris Whitney?
He come to Fike, and we play some pickup.
Yeah, but that's the middle court.
We could last a game or two on the middle court.
I used to get in a few runs on that court. I know it doesn't look like it.
It don't look. Hey, and one or two games, and that was it. And then we get booted back off to the side. And if you know, right? That's right. One of them things. But that's awesome. But yeah, we definitely got some good fans, good shows, good guests lined up, and we appreciate everyone's support. Feel free to share, like us on all social media, and on behalf of the Fun Fans podcast, Jay Thriller Entertainment, the Fanboys Fangirls Podcast Network, and Bailey Jackson.
Another great show, James. We are out of here.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for listening. Go Tigers.